There comes a time in a leader's life that you need to look at your big vision, and if your smaller goals are not allowing you to hit that big vision or deviating you from that big vision, it's time to cut things loose. In this video, I want to give you 3 things that you can do if that's happening in your life, in your organization, in your marriage, in your ministry, or in your business. So, you have a dream, and this dream that you have or that you're in is no longer serving the big vision that you have. Let me explain. So you have this big vision. Now for me, one of my big visions is to build my faith, right? And another one is to build my marriage and to build my family as a father, as a husband. That's one of my big visions, right? And I want to continue, and I have this big vision on how I want that and how I envision that to look like. That's my big calling. That's my big ministry. That's my first ministry, or my calling, or my business, which is my family. Now, if other visions, if other goals, smaller, meaningful dreams are not in alignment or allowing you to reach that big vision, then it's time to cut it loose. It's time to switch gears. So making sure that, and I'm looking at my notes here, making sure that every step of the way, it is directing you, whatever you're doing, to that big vision. If you sacrifice the big vision, all right, for smaller dreams, then you really lost your way. And I don't want that to happen to you. And before you lose your way, I want you to consider cutting ties with whatever it is. I want you to consider resigning. Maybe it's a job or a customer or a business. Maybe it's stopping the project. Maybe it's a project. Maybe it's a task in your organization that's draining the life out of you and your family and your priorities or your big vision. Maybe is considering canceling meetings or relationships or limiting relationships. Here are some steps that you can take as a leader, as a pastor, as an entrepreneur, as a leader of your organization. If you have a dream that is affecting your overall vision, you need to make some changes before you realize, man, I made a lot of mistakes. So here's what you can do. Number 1, constantly evaluate your direction. Constantly evaluate your direction. Is where you're moving in the direction that you want to go? That's a question that only you can answer. Is where I'm moving the direction that I want my life to go? If the answer is no, then you know what you need to do, right? You know you need to make some changes. You need to make some arrangements. You need to switch things around. You need to cut things off, like I said earlier. Number 2, after you consistently evaluate your direction, then you need to make a plan, right? You can't just stop and quit your job. You can't just stop and cut a project or cut something that's been happening for years in your organization. I mean, you could, but some things are not wise to do. So being a leader requires you to be responsible, right? You can't just stop certain things without making a plan. Certain things you could, smaller things, but certain things that require a plan in order for you to change, in order for you to adjust, in order for you to move in that direction. So don't just resign your job if it's your job without having a plan, without having something that you're moving into, working on, right? And so number 1, consistently evaluate your direction. If it's not where you want to go, make some changes. You know, the beauty about this is that God didn't make us into statues or trees. He gave us the ability to move, to be free, and to explore, and to try again until we reach the point where we want and where He's calling us to be. Number 1, consistently evaluate your direction. Number 2, make a plan. And number 3, take a leap of faith. A lot of people stop at number 2. They make a plan, or nothing is always going to be perfect. Everyone is not always going to be 100% on board. Okay? Take a leap of faith. Trust that by doing the right thing, God will always guide your steps. Giving up a huge amount of income, prestige, title, recognition, power, corner offers, or project that's been done for years can be scary. And I have to admit, it can be scary. And I'm teaching you something that I try to practice in my own life. As a matter of fact, I recently took a leap of faith in a different direction because I did these things that I'm telling you. I looked and I said, wait a minute, it's deviating me from where I want to be. And so I need to make some adjustments. I need to make some changes, and I need to take leaps of faith. It's scary, it's intimidating, but one way to gain confidence, gain confidence is to look at God and the vision that He has given you. And keep that vision before you constantly. And once you keep that vision before you constantly, work the plan and work the plan and work the plan towards that vision. I hope this helps you. I hope this encourages you. What I don't want to happen to you as a leader, as a husband, as a father, is for you to miss the big vision because you're focused on the smaller goals. If the smaller goals are not directing your life into that big vision, then it's time to dismiss the smaller goals for the sake of the big vision. Take care. See you next time.